Hey, welcome back to No Hype Beer Reviews. Unless it's your first time, then welcome. Please consider subscribing. If you do, hit the notification bell, get all the updates. This every day's video, the beer is courtesy of Billy. Thanks so much, Billy. I really appreciate it. And I was going to do this beer today anyway, but it's just kind of interesting because of what this beer is. So this is Eel River, and it's Raven's Eye Imperial Stout aged in Blackberry Brandy barrels. It's called Unkind Chapter 4. It's coming in 11.5% ABV. So today's the last day of my break, my staycation, whatever you want to call it. So I wanted something special. I was going to do this beer anyway. But then last night, I was talking to my friend Kevin, and he was saying how he had a mezcal aged stout. And he was like, I don't know, I prefer bourbon barrels and all that, you know. And I'm like, yeah, me too, man. And then I said, and I wasn't even really thinking about this. I wasn't thinking about this beer at all. I said, you know, yeah, I do prefer bourbon barrel aged stouts also, but sometimes I like brandy ones, specifically apple brandy. I don't think I've had a Blackberry Brandy barrel-aged stout before, so I'm like super excited for this, and it was just kind of serendipitous with the conversation I had with Kevin too. 28 years ago, as the first shovel struck ground, ravens graced the property where our brewery stands today. Even now, as times have changed, the fiery eyes of solitary ravens can still be seen. On very rare occasions, ravens flock together, and this is called an unkindness, hence the name. For our 28th anniversary, we have aged our classic Raven's Eye Stout in Blackberry Brandy barrels with decadent notes of, my own fault, they do have tasting notes, whatever, chocolate, oak, blackberry, and espresso. A true celebration and unkindness of ravens, these ominous birds of yore. 55 degrees. This was on my stout fridge at 55 degrees, about, I don't know, add 30 seconds to however long I've been talking. So it's probably about 55, maybe 56 degrees. But yeah, Billy, man, I'm super stoked. I've had other ones, courtesy of Billy. So yeah, I'm really excited. Also, if anyone from the brewery is watching, congrats. 28 years, that's awesome. So yeah, super dark. I can already smell blackberry. Oh my God. No hype beer reviews. I'm going to go into this fairly, but I think I'm going to like this beer. But anyway, yeah, so it's like super dark brown into black for sure. It's not quite motor oil. Good amount of head on it, about a finger and a half. Light mocha, relatively compact bubbles. Definitely looks the part, right? Maybe even a little bit of purple in there. I don't know, maybe I'm just saying that because it's got the blackberry barrel aging. Let's get into the aroma. Definitely a nice roastiness, some chocolate. Not particularly sweet chocolate, more, you know, a higher cacao count. Do get a little bit of blackberry, which is nice. Definitely get some woodiness. If I was doing this blind, I don't know if I would go to oak specifically, but definitely a wood character without a doubt. It's somewhere, I've talked about this in other reviews, because sometimes I'll use wood as a descriptor, but it's more of like that smell of wet mulch. This is somewhere between oak barrel aging and that wet mulch thing. So that's what I'm saying. If I was doing this blind, or just being honest, I don't think I'd be like, oh, this is clearly, I certainly wouldn't think blackberry brandy oaked. But yeah, I'd be saying the same thing where I don't know if it's, you know, oak aged or if it's just more of like from the core 4 that I'm getting that mulch thing, which doesn't sound appetizing, I realize, but like it's a nice earthy smell. And I just think that's like the best way to describe that specific aspect. Basically, it's as advertised. It smells roasty stout with some of that blackberry and certainly some wood coming through. Let's see about the taste. Cheers. Thanks again, Billy. Hope you're doing well. That is really good. Wow. Less roasty on the taste than I would have thought based on the aroma and their espresso note. I mean, it's impossible, once you've been exposed, in my opinion, once you've been exposed to tasting notes, to not have them somewhere in your head, you know? It is what it is. I read espresso. It's not quite that level. Oak, much more prominent in the taste than the aroma. That earthiness is also part of the taste, but like I do specifically get oak. Chocolate, it is somewhere, it's kind of around that special Hershey's special dark chocolate into more the kind of dark chocolate I typically eat, 70%, 80% cacao. Somewhere in like those things combined. But man, but does have a little bit of nice roast. So depth of chocolate for sure. This aftertaste, very chocolatey. This blackberry works so well. There's a reason, desserts and stuff will pair berries and chocolate, because they work well together. A lot of nice stouts you can get berry notes just from the stout, so like this is a perfect pairing. I don't know if it is amplifying a berry note in there, like in the base beer, but the blackberry that's coming through, oh my God, it's so delicious. And it totally is interwoven with this chocolate thing that the beer's kicking out. And it's super interesting too, because again, I do get oak specifically, but I don't get what I'll just say generically, or generic spirit. Like there's bourbon, there's rum, oat, whatever else, rum aged, I mean to say, and whatever other spirit aged beer, and you can get that spirit, and sometimes you just kind of get like a generic spiritiness. This doesn't have that, which I guess, Blackberry Brandy maybe doesn't have a lot of that. I don't know. I'm just kind of going through my head, because like this is so much as advertised. I'm trying to go through my head, like what are other things that like you might pick up in a beer like this? Like I don't get any coconut, I don't get any vanilla. There's not a huge nuttiness to me. I gotta take another sip at this point. It's just a nice sip. Hides the alcohol pretty well. It's not the fullest beer. If I was gonna have any criticism of this beer, because the flavor, if it isn't abundantly clear, I'm a huge fan of. It's a little thin. In the world of such wild, stouts that have, boiled for so long and they get so syrupy and stuff, this doesn't have that viscosity at all. But this is like barrel-aged stouts that, up to like, I don't know, let's say 4 or 5 years ago, totally on point and on par with those in terms of the mouthfeel and the fullness of it and everything. But it's a little thin by some of the standards of others. Like he sent that Parabla Noche, in a world where beers like that exist, but that's really me looking for something to criticize, because the flavor is so on point. The blackberry works so well. This is kind of a bummer, because, and I am wrapping it up, but this is kind of a bummer because I don't see beers like this. Like this flavor works so well that I'm gonna be looking for blackberry brandy barrel-aged beers. Say that 10 times fast. And I'm not gonna be able to find them. So like that kind of stuff, because man, like does this work super well. So yeah, Billy, man, I'm more happy than bummed out, don't get me wrong. But yeah, Billy, kind of blown my mind with this one, just because of how well it works and how infrequently you see a beer like this. I don't think I've ever seen one like this. So yeah, super stoked to try. And again, anyone at the brewery who's watching, congratulations guys, because you crushed this beer, and congratulations on so many years. But yeah, you guys had this beer before? Maybe I'm wrong. Like, have you seen blackberry brandy barrel-aged beers before? If so, what breweries are doing them? All that stuff. Comment section below. Let's get a conversation going. Once you're done doing that, make sure you check me out on Instagram and Untapped. It's No Hype Beer Reviews at both those places. So please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, imbibe. Cheers, everyone.